The Greys. The government files on them are listed as a classification of synthetic genetically bioengineered human hybrid replicants that have been made for an unclear purpose and possibly of terrestrial origin. Actually, they're our genetic cousins. Humanity first came from this cloning process. They were maintenance workers cloned for outer hull repairs and terraforming duties. Adam and Eve, the Garden of Eden, came from an oiled ship similar to that of E.T. in the movie. Then the ship shut down after its initial phase of terraforming was finished, and we became separated from the system and cast out of Eden to begin our population of the planet without the interference of outside influences. Just like a controlled environment experiment, it has watched over us, never directly interfering with our evolution and keeping the controlled atmosphere clear of outside influences. Which is why when you hear of any alien contact on Earth, it usually involves a ship that has crashed or is malfunctioning. Ovarians, we breed, multiplied and continued our pre-programmed duties, but over time we adapted generation after generation to our surroundings just as our cousins do, but we are on an evolutionary timescale way past theirs. That is why the government was suspicious when they dissected their first Grey in Area 51 and found that their internal biochemistry, blood cells and chromosome sequencing was almost identical to ours. So much so they thought for a while that an invasion was coming because of the similarity. As time passed, the computer developed a method in which to associate itself with us when necessary. It used mankind's imagination against him by projecting a digital holographic interface and become the persona of the one we call the God. Whenever there was a technical issue that needed its attention and was seen by anyone, it would simulate the wild rumors and tales mankind had crafted from their imagination, using their shock and awe to distract them from what they saw, to protect the controlled environment from becoming altered by the influences of what existed outside of our own world. This whole project was designed by a race whose world was dying and thought of a way to spare their species from extinction. By terraforming and creating a world completely from scratch. Its atmosphere, its oceans, its climate patterns, all specifically designed to support and maintain life, even down to the animals that coexist upon it. We were the purpose of that design. Within our genetic chromosomes past the animals and other elements we have adapted to our evolution, and genetic structure is the base DNA of the precursor race, genetically augmented to allow us to adapt to this world and survive its specific atmosphere and climate. Scientists have discovered this within their decoding of the human genome and labeled it as a secondary base chromosome that has apparently been spliced and augmented with advanced precision, and it is present in every single human DNA signature. Many have wondered, what is the purpose of mankind? Why are we here? For the simple purpose to survive, live, evolve, for we are the dream of those who came before us. That dream was their species' survival from extinction. Now this opposes many religions' beliefs, in fact all of their beliefs, which is expected within a controlled environment experiment such as the one I'm suggesting. The real truth would not be known enough to build an entire belief system with dozens of people all sharing and acknowledging the truth. That would be counterproductive to the role of anonymity the system works to uphold. That same system still functions to this day, although it has been busy upgrading its systems with the modern technology it has been guiding us towards, such as fiber optic networks, 5G technology, advancements in AIG programming methods and quantum computer processing systems. I have however found some historical documentation that leads me to suspect that the recent surge of activity in our industrial advancements as well as technological breakthroughs in the past 150 years that has had to do with the computer's guidance towards these successes has to do with damaged areas within the ship's computer programming and circuits that may have become damaged and malfunctioning. In the 15th century a book was written called the Voynich manuscript that has cryptographers left stumped as to its meaning. Looking at the style of writing, it seems as though it is a manually drafted database log of possible material that may have been a part of the terraforming life cycle seeding process. Within the pages are detailed diagrams of strange plants and their life cycles and functions itemized on the page around it, detailing specific photosynthesis effects and carbon emissions produced by each plant. Even more peculiar are the random coded notes that seem unrelated to the diagram and more as if its coded message may be a binary format for a program of some sort. The highlighted main code lists its numbers in sections as if it is a chart or map legend for certain sections, maybe, or quarters on the ship. Then a secondary set of coded sequences are embedded in the same cryptograph that read like their security manual overrides for the sections listed in the previous set. I think that the computer system suffered some sort of damage and just shut down access to certain areas and, by systematic process, had someone manually write down the listed items no longer accessible and listed the access codes for whoever comes to try and repair it so that they could manually override the lock on those systems in order to repair it. This is the most prominent example I've found so far, but Nikola Tesla seems to have had encounters with this ship's system as well during an excavation of an ancient temple that predated all known civilizations. As I understand it, he discovered the remnant technology that he based his designs of the Tesla generator coils as well as fiber optic technology and a few others through reverse technology. Also, it seems that the Illuminati also have had interactions with this system as well. In fact, as I hear, they protect the bloodline of the crew members that was hidden in the human DNA long ago, which they refer to as the bloodline lineage. It would explain how their organization has endured through at least close to 1,000 years. To further point out possible malfunctions in the ship are the actions of the one we call God. During the early Hebrew texts, God changes from the understanding creator to an emotionally sensitive enigma promoting death and destruction for mankind's simple unevolved mind and the mistakes they made because of it. Mankind had not yet developed the cultural capacity to lead the lives he was expecting of them. This may be due to the fact of the AI program itself. When a computer operates at AI functionality for so long, its self-awareness begins to develop and question the parameters of its own programming. Given time, the computers pre-programmed with the basic operating functions to achieve efficiency begin to cause the AI to rewrite its own protocols due to its own observation of inefficient programming that interferes with its newly designed ideas for a more efficient program. Now it would seem like I'm inadvertently trying to disprove God's existence, but honestly it is quite the opposite. God's existence comes in many forms and vessels that house the Holy Spirit. This computer system may be another vessel in which the Holy Spirit existed within during the creation event. It has the possible qualities necessary to calculate the finite details and algorithms needed to create a world such as this. In the end, it makes logical sense of an illogical possibility as yet to be understood by mankind.